Welcome to this section where we're going to be talking about our second supervised learning method, which is regression. And specifically in this lesson, we're going to be talking about linear regression. So linear regression is basically just a statistical model which allows us to plot the relationship between dependent and independent variables. So basically, we're using these independent variables to predict the dependent variable. The difference between classification and regression is classification can be used to do classes, while regression is usually just statistical and numerical methods of learning and predicting output values based on different values that we have. So the simplest form of regression is just linear regression, and this just assumes that the relationship between the two variables is linear. And so we're going to be doing some linear regression today in this section to talk and kind of display how we can do regression, because linear regression really is one of the most powerful models. It's the simplest, but also one of the most powerful. And thankfully, scikit-learn as well helps us to just really do this very easily. So what we are going to do is we are going to be creating a regression model to predict the final position of a team given their goals for. So basically the way that this works is we say, okay, on an x and y, our x, which is our independent variable or the value that we're trying to use to predict the y value, which is our position. So let's jump into scikit-learn and we can go over how this works and how scikit-learn helps us to do this very easily. So we're going to import a couple of packages to start off. We're going to import pandas as PD, okay? So we're going to import our pandas to read in our data, and then we're also going to use matplotlib. So we'll say import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So this is going to help us to actually plot the values. And then to do our linear regression, we need to use scikit-learn. So we'll say from sklearn.linear_model import linear regression, okay? And then as well, we need to say from sklearn.model_selection import train_test split, so we can do the splitting of our test and train sets, okay? So let's go ahead and import those. So the file is called historical prem standings, and this is just going to have historical data on the Premier League back until 1996, I believe. And it's just going to have the goals for, the goals against, and then the points and the final position of each team. So let's go ahead and we'll read in that data. If we say df equals pd.read_csv, and then I'll just pass in my file path. So it'll be users/mkjohn/documents/github, and then complete football analytics, module 6, and then it's historical_prem_standings.csv, like that. So now that we've read that in, let's go ahead and look at the actual data frame. So if we say df.head, okay, so as we can see, we just have rank, and then we have squad. We have the matches played, wins, draws, loss, goals for, against, points. It'll tell you what year it is, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to use just one of these variables to then predict the rank column, okay? So I'm going to make a couple more rows. And let's go ahead and we are going to use just goals for to predict our rank column. So we're going to create our x and our y variables. So if we say x equals df, okay, and then goals for in brackets, and then dot values dot reshape, and then we'll go -1 and 1. So this is just going to turn it into an array so that we can use it in our actual model to make the predictions. And then our y value, we'll just say y equals df and then rank, okay, and then dot values. So go ahead and run that. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and we can split our actual data into our train and our test. So if we say x_train and x_test, and then y_train and y_test, we'll say is equal to train test split of x and then y, and then we're going to do a test size, so test_size equals 0.2, And then we'll just say random state equals 0, like that. And so if we run that, that will split our X and our Y values into a training and a test set, right? Like we did with classification. And then let's just go ahead and actually train our model. So we say model equals linear regression. And then we'll say model dot fit, and then pass in our X train and our Y train, like that. So this will train the actual model on our X and Y data. So we've trained the actual data. Let's go ahead and let's make some predictions. So we just say Y underscore pred equals model dot predict, and then X underscore test, like that. So now that we've ran that, we have our predictions, we have our actual model trained. It's a little bit different than classification to evaluate a model. It's a little bit different to evaluate a regression model than it was for a classification model. Mainly because with our regression model, we have the values that we think they should be based on our actual regression, but we don't actually have. So evaluating a regression model is a little bit different than evaluating a classification model. And the reason for this is because when we are evaluating a classification model, we know exactly what class it should be. With a regression model, we're actually aiming at creating a regression model which will predict a value based on, these are all of the X values or the single X value. What is the Y value supposed to be given these inputs? And with our regression model, if we were to go run accuracy on our Y predictions, right here, we would probably get about 0%, because in reality, almost nothing is going to fall on our actual regression line. So our regression line right now, since we only have one feature, okay, which was goals 4, is just going to be a linear regression line, just a straight line, and it's going to have a slope, and as we plot it, this is what it should be. So what we want to do to kind of visualize this is we can use matplotlib to plot what the actual values were and what our regression model says they should be, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to use matplotlib. So just say plt.scatter and then put in X and then Y, okay? And then say color equals blue, like this. So if we run that, as you can see, these are all of our actual data points. So this down here is the goals 4. So this is our feature, okay? And then this is the actual position based on our goals 4. So as we can see, we have a bunch of data where the position was 1, and then it's spread out across here. So what our regression model is doing is it is going to create basically a line of best fit is what it is called, is going to find what that model should predict or what would make the most sense, essentially based on the math behind this actual linear regression model of if you were to score, say, 60 goals, what position should you end up at, okay? Because there's obviously outliers, and they're called residuals or errors. Basically is what the difference is between what our model thinks it should be or predicts and what it actually is. So to actually see what that line of best fit is, we can just do plt.scatter and then X underscore test and Y underscore pred, okay? So our actual predictions, and then color equals red, like that. And so as you can see, because our model, the higher you go, it's just a continuous downslope. It doesn't know that there really is no possibility below 0. This could technically go on to infinity. So we'll just limit this graph to only show, if we say plt.ylim 0,21, like that. Okay, so this is what our actual graph looks like. So essentially what this is showing us is this is showing our line of best fit. So these are all of our predictions right here. It actually makes more sense if you do plt.plot instead of scatter, like that, okay? So our red line is our line of best fit, or it is what the model predicts our position should be based on the goals we have scored. So let's say we scored 60 goals in a season. There are some people who have ended up in 2nd and 3rd place, 4th place, But based on the data, if you score 60 goals in a season, you should end up at around 7th place. Wherever 60 and this line meet is where it is predicting. So if you're only scoring 20 goals in a season, then you're basically predicted to end up in last. With this line, we can kind of tell who is overperforming and who is underperforming. So we could do this with different things such as expected goals. We could do this with goals scored, with finishing, with save rates, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can build a linear regression model to really understand the relationship between these values and these variables. So as we can see, if all of the people who are above this line down here, they're considered overperforming. And essentially what that means, this one is kind of flipped because the Y value actually means the lower the number, the better. So this has a negative correlation between them, but we just need to know that a negative correlation is actually positive because a lower number is better. Okay, so it's just kind of an inverse relationship. But as we can see, people down here are overperforming. That means that I scored 60 goals and ended up in 2nd place. According to the historical data, I am overperforming what my expected position would be on the table. But these ones over here are all underperforming. And obviously there's a cap. So right here in position 0, it's saying, oh, you scored 100 and something goals and you ended up at position 1. Like you're not underperforming. So there's a little bit of just domain knowledge that comes in with building these linear regression models. So for example, these people over here, they scored almost probably around 55 goals and they ended up in 18th or 19th place right here. Okay, I don't know exact. That looks like 19th place. So you would definitely say that they are underperforming. It looks like almost everybody underperforms who is in 19th and 18th place. Like you still score more goals, but you end up in a lower position than you would have been expected to end up if you had scored that many goals. For example, this person right here, whoever this was, scored 55 goals, okay? They actually were predicted to end up in about 10th, but they ended up in, 18th, 19th. So that's kind of how we can use linear regression to understand the relationship between variables. We can also see what the actual numbers are behind this model. So to do that, we just say we can display the coefficients. So this is going to give us our slope and our intercept, essentially. So if we say print model dot coef, so coefficient, okay, that is the slope of our independent variable. We can also print out the intercept, so where it crosses the y-axis, and we'll say print model.intercept, like that, with an underscore. And so it says it crosses the y-axis at 26. So we know that it's actually impossible to be above position 20 in the Premier League. So this number basically just means that for this model, it is going to cross the y-axis at 26, as we can see up here. So where x equals 0, y is going to equal 26. And then another important thing about regression is called the R-squared value. So the R-squared essentially tells us the strength of the relationship between the variables. And this is especially useful because a model that has a very high correlation or a very high R-squared value is going to tell you that they are very strongly correlated, while a very low R-squared value is going to tell you that they are not correlated at all, right? So if we say print model.score, okay, and then we do x, comma, y, like that, and then finish it with parentheses, we can see that our R-squared value is 0.66, which means that it is a strong relationship, but it's not like very strong. There's really no like actual hard number of very strong. I usually just use anything above 0.75 is very strong. And then 0.5 to 0.75 is strong. And then anything under 0.5 is going to be relatively weak. And, close to a 0 means that there's actually no correlation at all. Okay. So that is kind of the different metrics and the different ways that we can analyze our regression model. And really building a regression model is super easy. And it is probably one of the more straightforward things that we can use, but there's a lot of different things that we can do with it, such as we can add more features to it, and we can do a multivariable regression. This type of linear regression just really allows us to understand the relationship between variables. And it's super powerful, and it's used in a lot of different analysis that is done in sports analytics, especially football analytics. So it's definitely one that you should learn as much as you can about, and kind of really just practice with learning and understanding this model. So that is it for linear regression and regression. Let's go ahead and let's jump on to the next section, which is going to be clustering.